Galnet News Special, 13th of June 3307. An abandoned anaconda and a tale of tragedy found by those searching for the missing science crew of the megaship Hesperus may bring renewed hope for additional anti-Xeno weaponry. The search, instigated by the shadowy figure Salvation, identified a trail of 17 beacons stretching from Chul to a location close to the wrecked megaship Hesperus in Perseus Dark Region KC-V C2-2 and skirting the numerous permit locks that some believe to be placed there to prevent the discovery of the more disturbing forms of alien life. The Hesperus dropped these beacons back in the year 3113 as it set out on the trail of intelligent alien life following the initial discovery of Thargoid barnacle sites by its sister ship, the Adamastor, 2 years earlier. The Hesperus, owned and operated by Azimuth Biochemicals, was raided by a rival research company, Pharma Sapien. When the wreck site was discovered in April this year, it initially appears that there were no survivors of this attack after toxic gas was found throughout the megaship. However, following the deciphering of messages retrieved by the Scrivener Dredger clan, it became clear that a small party of scientists had escaped, intent on continuing the search for the aliens and their technology. And on the 11th of June 3307, following a massive effort to scan all systems within a 300 light-year radius by pilots from Cannon Research and others, the science party from the Hesperus has been located in the Trapezium Sector YU-X C1-2 star system. What was of immediate surprise to the discoverers was that the anaconda that had been launched from the Hesperus was surrounded by both Thargoid wreckage and Guardian ruins. The first time physical evidence of the million-year-old war between the two alien species, described in ancient texts recovered from previously discovered Guardian sites, has ever been found. The anaconda, named Proteus, has a temporary camp and communications tower beside it. This appears to be where the scientists conducted their research. In 2 logs, both dated September 3113, Lieutenant Hugo Kellerman of the Hesperus describes their findings. He doesn't have names for what his crew has found, but his description of structures consisting of million-years-old arches and monoliths, the ruined temples of forgotten gods, is a clear reference to the Guardian structure nearby, and possibly also to the ancient Guardian ruin some tens of kilometres distant. Kellerman also describes strange objects like starfish, half buried in the sand, that look like they have fallen from the sky. This is clearly a description of the several crashed Thargoid interceptors that lie within a few kilometres of the Guardian structure. Kellerman correctly infers that the Thargoid and Guardian remains are the technology of different species, and the scientists and the crew surmise that this may be the site of an ancient battle between these two alien species. The second log is dated 5 days after the first, and it is this log that both describes the fate of the final crew members from the Hesperus and gives us a glimpse of the potential of Guardian technology used against ground troops, to devastating effect. The crew of the Proteus, after managing to retrieve a Guardian relic from one of the obelisks, despite the unwelcome attention of a Guardian sentinel, which Kellerman describes as hovering drones, set to work on trying to convert the relic to use as a weapon. This is apparently what both Azimuth Biochemicals and their rival Pharma Sapien have been seeking to do, to harness alien technology to develop new kinds of weapon. It could, as Kellerman muses, have made Azimuth more powerful even than the Sirius Corporation. During the experiments, conducted by a Dr. Farrell, something seems to have gone wrong. Kellerman was wakened by a brilliant blue flash, he says, that seems to have come from everywhere. That sounds like the sort of radiation surge from the so-called Demon Core that caused a number of fatalities at the Los Alamos weapons facility on 20th century Earth. With clothes and bodies burned black, and with the ability to move their muscles rapidly draining from them, it was a matter of hours before all the crew members of the Proteus, the only people to escape from the Hesperus, were dead. And there they lay, for nearly 200 years, one of 3 dead races on that moon, their bodies and the ghosts of the gods beside them keeping the secret of the destructive potential of the Guardian relics. Coming as it does in the wake of the tragic loss of the Aegis research megaship Alexandria, and the consequent loss of thousands of tons of ancient Guardian technology intended to kickstart the search for new technology to fight off the Thargoids, the discovery that Azimuth Biochemical's employees found a way to release the power of the Guardian relic nearly 194 years ago brings hope that if only that power can be harnessed and controlled, a powerful weapon, be it for use against ships or personnel, might yet be possible. Salvation has stated that this search into the history of the early contacts with Thargoid and Guardian technologies may prove critical to the survival of humankind. How better to ensure our survival than having bigger and more effective weapons than our enemy?